Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the HamCorp Training Manual. In this episode, we will finish breeding the Salis Mundus bee. That's it. But that does include introducing climate control to the alveary. We want the Salis Mundus bee, which means I need thaumic shards and thaumium dust. Thaumic shards needs thaumium dust and aqua, which is right here. Aqua comes from watery, and we can do watery now. And then the thaumium dust needs ignis and edenic. Ignis comes from fiery, which we can do now, and then edenic comes from exotic, which comes from austere, which comes from frugal, which comes from either sinister or fiendish, and we can do sinister. Okay, so I also need to do these three. I didn't realize that before. Okay, a bit more breeding to do. First, I'm going to make my ethereal backups, and then I will continue. The shitty glass roof is back because I need to get enough materials for another alveary. I would like to have multiple, but anyway, I've looked into the next 3 bees that we need to make, the fiery, the watery, and the sinister. The fiery and watery we can do right now. There is something special about them, but I'll come back to that. However, the sinister is a little annoying because it can only be bred in a nether biome. So I'm gonna have to move this whole alveary to the nether. I guess I could just power it with the capacitor bank, so that's fine. But let's finish the fiery and watery first. Now, I did say these are special, and actually they both are bred from supernatural plus ethereal, but they have a condition. It requires lava as a foundation for the fiery queen and water as a foundation for the watery one. For a single block bee housing, like the apiary, it's pretty obvious that you just put the water or lava underneath the block. For the alveary, it's also quite simple, but there is one tiny caveat. The block requirement has to go specifically under the center block of the alveary, and this central bottom block of the alveary has to be a base alveary block. This cannot be, for example, a stimulator or a power transmission. So this has to be an alveary block, but besides that, it's nothing special. So let's do the fiery one first. Easy enough. And now let's do the watery one. I'm going to pick this water back up because I don't want to have mutations that I'm not expecting. These are actually our first truly interesting bees, in my opinion, because the watery princess gets you watery combs and ice, so this is infinite ice. But the watery combs are also infinite ink sacs, and then the fiery one is infinite blaze powder. Unfortunately for this bee, we've already dealt with that. Oh, I still need to replant this. I'll do that later. But anyway, next, the ignis and aqua bees. The ignis is from breeding fiery with itself, but you need a fire crystal cluster as a foundation. And then this one produces burning propolis and glittering fiery combs. The burning propolis gets you fire-infused dust, which is basically ignis crystal powder. And the glittering combs get you basically the same thing, but also blaze powder. The aqua probably does something similar. Flowing propolis, which I imagine is the same as aqua crystal powder. It is indeed. And the glittering watery comb is the same. So these are just direct upgrades of the fiery and watery bees. There's no reason to keep the watery or fiery bees if you're making the ignis and aqua bees, because they make the same thing and more. But yeah, the aqua is from watery plus watery, and it needs a water crystal cluster. So I need to make those 2 crystal clusters. Water crystal cluster. And the watery bees. And then the fire one. Aha! This bee is not happy with the flowers. It wants cacti, as it says here in the flower type. So cool. Finally, our first bee that is a little picky about the flowers nearby. Let me grab some cacti. I think I still have some here. Yep. There we go. Ignis bees. Easy. Now to deal with this going to the nether business. Ugh. Now don't forget to take your bees. You need a modest and a cultivated. Let's find a nice quiet spot to put this down. How about right here? Ow. Okay, clearly not. Goddamn. So let's chuck in the cultivated and modest. Right. Right. So, this is a little complicated. First of all, there's no flowers. That's just me being an idiot and not bringing flowers, so don't forget your flowers. But second, it's too dry here, and it's too hot. We could do this whole climate control thing, or it turns out that the modest drone has a temperature preference of hot, and it says both 1, which means it's also tolerant of 1 level above and below hot. And I believe hellish is 1 above hot. So if this was a modest princess and a cultivated drone, this should work. I'm going to forget about this queen. Goodbye, friend. And I'm gonna go back to the overworld, find a modest princess. Actually, I could even buy a few modest hives with coins instead of having to go out and find them. So I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get a pristine modest princess, and I'm gonna get some cacti, and I'm gonna come back here. Sadly, I didn't have any luck with the modest hives, because there is a 20-minute cooldown on buying hives, and I wasn't about to wait. So I checked my bee chest, and I actually had a couple of modest princesses, but they're all ignoble. So I brought a few extras just in case they decay, which is quite likely, considering the situation we're in with these circuit boards. Increased genetic decay by 50% for each golden electron tube. So that's not great. But let's try it anyway. I also looked ahead up to the austere bee. These can all be done over here. So I brought a few extra modest drones, and hopefully that should be enough. Modest princess, cultivated drone. And this should give us sinister. There we go. Next up, frugal. That is modest plus sinister. Here's frugal drones and a fiendish princess. That is not what we want. Well, that finishes that quest, but that's not what I wanted. So, frugal princess, again, is either sinister or fiendish and modest. Right, okay, so fiendish, modest. This one needs nether flowers. I don't know what counts as a nether flower. You fly around a bit, I guess. Maybe the glow flower. Maybe some of these. What are these? Burning blossom? Yeah, maybe some burning blossoms. Alright, are you happy? You are happy. Not with me though, because you're like attacking me. Ow. This is one of those bees that has bad effects. Okay, frugal princess. Nice. Purebred? Purebred. Okay, and finally, the austere. This one is modest plus frugal. Now that we have that, we can do the exotic bee. Now this comes from austere and tropical, but it no longer needs hellish temperatures or arid or whatever, and we don't need to be the nether anymore. Let's move this alveary back into the overworld. Ready to breed the exotic princess. Again, this is austere combined with tropical. However, I don't have an austere princess, I only have drones. I don't know why, I don't know where the princess went. But anyway, when we combine the austere drone with the tropical princess, we're going to get a tropical queen, but the tropical queen needs warm temperature or hotter and damp humidity or more humid. We're currently normal, as you know. So in preparation, I've removed these alveary blocks, turned them into heaters and hydroregulators. The heaters make the temperature go up, and the hydroregulator currently is doing nothing. But it has two modes. You can supply it with water, and then it will make it more humid but less hot. Or you can provide it with lava, and it makes it less humid but more hot. So we want it to be more humid. So I've also brought a reservoir and water buckets, and we're going to fill this thing up. It does consume the water, so you do need to have a steady supply of it. And now the humidity has gone up to damp, so it's hot and damp. I probably made it a little bit too hot, actually. I made too many heaters, so let me maybe remove a couple of these. I made some more alveary blocks as well, because I'm slowly starting to bring materials together for a second alveary. There we go. Now it's warm. So I made 3 more heaters than I needed. So with 1 heater and 1 hydroregulator, you should be able to get to warm damp from normal. And now we can get these to breed, and that gets us our exotics. Next up, we need an edenic queen. This is exotic plus tropical. This also requires warm damp, so that's good. This bee poisons you, as I have just discovered. Alright, the next one, our first really big one, thaumium dust. Before we can make the thaumium dust queen, we need two things. We need a block of thaumium, and we need to find a magical forest biome. Now I don't remember if I have found one already. Probably have and don't remember. First let me make like a stack of Ignis drones. Hello, I'm on fire. I didn't notice this before, so I just wasted quite a lot of time just waiting for the Ignis princess to breed over and over. But the Ignis bee has a fertility of 1. That means it's only going to produce 1 drone in each generation, which is then promptly consumed to turn the princess back into a queen. So we will never ever profit drones from breeding cycles. So I still only have the 2 drones that I started out with, and what I'm going to do instead is use one of them to crossbreed with a wintry princess and try to keep the fertility of the wintry princess. Now this is going to be hard because it's a recessive trait, because it's blue, while the low fertility is a dominant trait, but it has to be done. So I'm going to spend some time trying to crossbreed this 4 times fertility onto this Ignis and hopefully convert this wintry princess also into an Ignis princess. But hopefully this new one will have a fertility of 4. I have failed to put 4 times fertility on an Ignis princess, but I managed to convert the wintry princess into an Ignis princess. So I have 2. Now I do need a block of thaumium, of course. And a magical forest, which does happen to be pretty close, 2,500 blocks away. Hey, that's actually out of range of my wireless charging. Isn't that crazy? And here we are in the magical forest. Block of thaumium base. Okay, this is a warm normal. Well, actually it's normal, but I have a heater on here somewhere. Yeah, here. Because the Ignis, well, I guess it could have worked in normal anyway. Nice. Thaumium dust bees. Now hopefully, oh thank god, these are fertility too. Okay, so I can make more of these. Now I'm gonna leave this alveary here because first I want to make some more thaumium dust bees. But after that, to get the Salis Mundus queen, it needs a magical forest biome. To get the thaumic shards bee, it needs a magical forest biome. So I am going to have to bring this back anyway, so I'm not going to deconstruct it. I'm going to go home, make some more thaumium dust. Actually, now that I think about it, the thaumic shards bee is actually just a direct upgrade. So I should probably actually make this first. I should use one of these thaumium dust bees to make thaumic shards. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home, make a few extra thaumium dust drones. Then I'm going to bring my aqua drones and princess as well, so I can convert them into thaumium shard bees. And then those, with the extra drones, I'm going to combine to get the Salis Mundus bee. And hopefully I'll also have a thaumium shard princess as well, a second one. So at the end of this, I am not going to have a thaumium dust princess, but I am going to have a thaumium shard princess and a Salis Mundus princess. Alright, I made some more drones. Got my aqua bees as well. I'm going to mix these 2. And these get me thaumic shards. And I'm also going to mix these 2, which will also get me thaumic shards. Now, we can mix the thaumic shards with the thaumium dust. And this should get me the Salis Mundus bee. After so long. Mission accomplished. Okay, thaumic shards and Salis Mundus bees. And both of them want normal. So this is the perfect biome to set up automation, because we're also, not only will we get the regular produce, we'll also get the special. The special needs you to be in their base habitat requirements. So they need to be in an environment that's normal, even though they are tolerant of more than just that. They will only make their special combs if they're in normal, which we are in normal. And if we weren't, we have an alveary, so we could simulate normal. Now cool, I would like to set both of these up in alvearies and not in apiaries, but that is going to take some time. I guess it would be fine for now just to set up the automation in an apiary, and then I'll change it up once I actually have more alvearies. I'll work on that in the background. Let's see what we need to do with these Salis Mundus queens. They're going to produce Salis Mundus combs, and these just need to be centrifuged. Okay, that's quite easy. Now I don't want to send the bee products to the ore refinery, because that's kind of stupid. I have been using it just because it's faster than a single block, but I don't want that to be the route it takes when I set up an automation. So I think I need to, maybe I'll fill up this tower. Like I'll make another floor And the next floor can have another multi-block centrifuge. And then all the B products can be sent there. I kind of like that idea. So I'm going to work on getting another multi-block centrifuge so we can get infinite Salis Mundus. And of course I will work on making another alveary, or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5 in the meantime. Once those are done, I have already expanded this chemistry building out a little bit more to make space for our infinite nether star automation. And then we can continue on progression. Thank you for watching this episode of the HamCorp Training Manual. In the next episode, we will automate null catalyst duplication for infinite nether stars, and we will get back on track to continue progression. HamCorp acknowledges that this episode was somewhat repetitive, but this is GregTech New Horizons, so get over it and get back to work. See you next time.